Hi everyone, how are you all doing? I promised a few people that I would make this video to give you some help in making some different choices when it comes to swapping out macros on your programs. So for those of you who don't know what macros are who aren't on a training course with me, a macro is either a protein, a carb or a fat. All three are vitally essential to a balanced diet, and that is one thing I wholeheartedly promote to every single client that comes on board with me. So if you have taken up the opportunity to train with me and have me monitor your nutrition for you on a weekly basis as part of one of my courses, which you can see online, there are a few different types you can go for, more so varying in length than anything else. So if you have started that journey with me, you will have been given a lot of information about how the course works, what will be expected of you, and some guidance on how to implement the training and also feed yourself in the right way, following the nutrition that I have set out for you as an individual. So depending on your weight loss goals, a few other factors like your age, and things like how much exertion you are sort of putting your body under, not just necessarily with the gym, but with the type of lifestyle you lead, your program will be slightly different from one person's to the next. However, one thing that isn't different for anybody are proteins, carbs and fats. They're all the same, they're all pretty standard. We all know what a protein is. You can get lean proteins, fatty proteins. By fatty proteins, I would probably say something like the dark meat of the chicken, or the chicken leg, the chicken thigh, whereas the lean protein would obviously be the chicken breast. And again, another lean protein would be, let's say fillet steak or fish. So that's your proteins. You also have carbs, and we all know more than enough about carbs because they are so good and we all like to eat them. And carbs come in lots of different varieties, but we focus on the good carbs, the whole carbs, the carbs that you would expect to be eating on a good nutrition plan. And not only that, we have the fats to consider. Now, you may receive a plan from me and it may be all laid out for you, and that's something that you would follow. Now, if you haven't read your guides thoroughly, you may not have noticed that there is an approved foods list in your guides, which will allow you the opportunity to change anything on your menu on any day, on any meal that you like. So I just wanted to take you through how you do that, just a few examples, which would be steering you away from your written plan. And I think it's very good and healthy for you to not be confined to this plan and be able to grow your nutrition knowledge, because it's important to understand if you are in a different situation and you can't get a certain food, what you could swap that out for. Say, for example, if you're on holiday. Now, let me just refer to my personal plan, which I am following at the moment. And I do run the same thing for all clients, carb cycling. So we run on higher carb days, then a medium carb day, low carb days, and we swap it around depending on how we respond to the nutrition and the training that we're doing. If we're doing training, it's not essential. So for example, if your program states on one particular morning that I require you to eat 40 grams of carbs, and let's make this simple, 30 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein. Okay, so let's take the good old oats as an example, which can be bought worldwide and are pretty standard. Oats are great because they have zero fat in them. Well, I say zero, they have a very, very small amount, which really isn't worth considering, but they have great carbs. So you would look on the back of the nutrition list here and it'll always say serving size. Now, a 40 gram bowl of oats will give you 27 grams of carbs according to this brand. Now you may go to a shop bought or shop own brand oats, or some other maybe Scottish oats, or wherever you go, and it may be slightly different. It may say 30 grams will give you 25 grams of carbs. So we kind of sort of round it off. It's all a kind of an about figure. So let's say you are sick of eating your oats and you want to swap it out. So typically 30 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein would have you mixing some protein powder into your oats once they are cooked. But let's say we're going to get bored of that and we want to swap it out, but we don't know how to. So we go straight over to the approved foods list and we take a look down the carb section, and there will be a lot of information and options for you to choose from relating to the carbs that you need. So if you need 30 grams, you can fairly easy work out from the list how to do it. So I want to give you an example of looking at the backs of packets. Let's say you would like to have one of these lovely cinnamon raisin bagels. So we look on the back of the packet and we're looking for 30 grams of carbs. You're going to get 56 grams of carbs for one of these, okay? Now, I'm not going to teach you bad habits here, but let's round this off. Okay, if you just had half of one of these bagels with a protein shake, that would be sufficient enough to meet the 30 grams of carbs and 30 grams of protein. However, consider the amount of sugars that are in these bagels. Now per bagel, that is 11 grams of sugars. So it's not an ideal swap. Sugars are carbs. So when it says that, we want to sort of stick to more sort of wholer, better foods for our body. Like, I'm in America right now and they love their sourdough bread. This comes from a health food store, which has 0 sugars in it. So per slice, I'm getting 27 grams, which is of carbs, so which is near enough the 30 grams. So I could easily take a nice slice of that for breakfast. My fat is a trace of fat on the breakfast, so we're not going to be having any fats. I'm a lover of Marmite, so I would skim Marmite on top of that and have that with a protein shake. The protein shakes to get the 30 grams of protein. That's one idea. Okay, if you're back in the UK, Warburton's is a big favourite, especially in our house. Warburton's Thins, they are pretty much spot on to the 30 grams of carbs. And you might want to get your protein from another source. You may be sick of protein powder, which it happens, and if you don't mix your diet up, you'll fall off track because you are bored and you are fed up with it. Now, ideally, a good source of protein is from egg whites. So I think it's probably around, I think it's 5 ounces of egg whites or 4 ounces egg whites equates to the 30 grams of protein required for this particular breakfast. If you go over to the approved food list, which I've sent you, you will see it all on there. But anyway, let's say you're sick of egg whites. Branded things aren't on approved food list. Approved food list contains the whole foods, generic food, so it's not going to have Warburton's in there and it's not going to have Trader Joe's sourdough bread. It will simply say oats. There are many brands of oats, but you know, it's a generic food. So if you wanted to check out a good brand back home, Mattison's I like, they do a smoked and an unsmoked, but this is an American turkey bacon. So it says on the back here that one slice contains, now we're looking for the protein, 6 grams of protein, which is fantastic. No carbs, no fats, well, 1.5 grams of fats. So this is perfect. So how's about we give you, instead of a bowl of oats, let's say we give you a nice bagel we're going to need 6, 12, 18, 20, well, I'm terrible at math, so we need 5 rashers of this turkey bacon because it's 6 grams of protein per slice. That will give us our 30 grams of protein, 5 slices. So it was right, wasn't it? 6, 12, 18, yes. So yeah, so you take your bagel, check the back of the packet, make sure it hits 30 grams of carbs, and you take your egg whites, or you could do a mixture. You could do 2 or 3 turkey rasher bacon and some egg white, a bit like, I don't know, egg McMuffin, or on a healthier scale, something like that. Sauces are a big no-no. They're full of sugar unless you find a brand, which there are many out there that do I think there's Skinny sauces, there's the Skinny Food Company that do ketchup and barbecue sauce, and you can just literally have whatever you like. I personally like beetroot ketchup. I mean, you're looking at 1 or 2 grams of carbs or 1 gram of fat, and it's just nothing to write home about. And if you start analysing your food that much, I mean, you shouldn't be getting down to, you know, that preciseness, and it's just not healthy to sort of analyse that much. But anyway, the Foraging Fox is a British brand, and it's very good. It's purely beetroot basically, and it goes absolutely lovely with a turkey, bacon, egg white bagel. So that's to give you an example of how you can swap out your breakfast. So start looking at the back of packets. Bear in mind that the macros are your carbs, your proteins and fats. Look at the micros as well, the micronutrients. You don't want to be hitting too many sugars. You want to be, you know, eating good whole foods. So the same goes for protein throughout the rest of your day. If your program says that you're going to be eating chicken and vegetables, and you don't want chicken and vegetables, or you've suddenly decided to go pescatarian for some unknown reason, like me, I change my diet and my habits quite frequently depending on my mood, then it's ounce for ounce swaps on the protein. So go to the approved foods list. You will have 5, maybe 6 ounces written down for you. You don't want the chicken, you opt for the fish. I mean, out here in the States, tilapia is a very, very common fish. It's probably very much similar to how we are common in the UK with cod. So go and choose a white fish, go and choose a salmon, go and choose a tuna. You may even want to have steak. If you are a vegan or you're a vegetarian, I will have written your plan as per being a vegan and a vegetarian, and you would then look at the tofu options and the tempeh options, and there's so many options out there for alternative eating when it comes to the meat-free diet. Okay, so that's just typically how I would expect people to be swapping things out. You don't want rice, you swap it for potatoes. You don't want potatoes, for example. I mean, you could swap it for some kind of starchy beans. It's a case of having the time and getting into the kitchen and getting familiar with food, understanding the food groups and not being bored, and also utilizing the groups here which we've got for Abbie Curtis Bikini Fitness, and this is all to help you. I mean, I don't get paid for putting these videos up. I do it because I want to help you, I want to motivate you, and if you've got questions, I'm here and you should ask me. If anyone does have any questions about nutrition plans, absolutely feel free to message me. You can comment below this video if you would like to know how to swap a certain food for something else. And you can ask me anything. Am I allowed alcohol? When can I eat the food I want to eat? What ice creams do you recommend? Anything you want to ask me. So yes, you can comment below, but I hope this video has been helpful in understanding how to make life a little bit more fun in the kitchen, and that's about it. So again, if you need any inspiration or you've got any questions, just comment below.